I've been running it around, and I got some parts for it. It's coming back from town, and then all it would do was 15 miles an hour. I couldn't get any more speed out of it. So I get it home, I plug my scanner in, and it's saying low voltage on the throttle position sensor. So I've got one of those, and I'm gonna put that in right now, and hopefully it fixes that. I don't know. It feels like maybe the transmission might be slipping on it. It's got a funny noise when you take off too. So this truck's got some issues. Okay, the throttle position sensor is right there on the throttle body. So I gotta take off this air cleaner to get it. Should be a pretty easy job doing this. Okay, I took off this nut was on here, and that took off the air cleaner. You can see you gotta kind of slide it backwards. This clips onto the throttle body down here, and you gotta kind of slide it this way and out. And then I just took off 4 bolts to the air cleaner, tipped it on its side. There's a wire on it, so I'm just gonna leave it there instead of taking the wire off. There's the throttle position sensor right there. It's got a Torx bit, 2 screws. It's gonna be tight, but I just have to see if I can get her here. Okay, there's no way you're gonna get the volts off that throttle position sensor with the throttle body on there. So I got to take it off, and I already took the back screw off, which is right here. This is back there. Holds the top of the air cleaner on. That's like an inverted Torx. I guess that's what they call them. Then I just took off this bracket here. They come off these 2 studs. I took out the stud that was in here. It's a really long stud. So I got this off that holds the throttle cables, and I got 1 more bolt here, and the throttle body should come up high enough, and I'll be able to get the sensor off it then. Okay, again, this one is a really long one. Come out. I've got to take this bolt off, or that nut off here, to be able to swing that up. Okay, I had to take this bolt off right here off this bracket, 1 more, and now the throttle body's loose. I'm just going to bring it up a little bit like that, take off that throttle position sensor, and swap the new one in. I'll show you the new one and the old one. Okay, that's what that looks like. The throttle position sensor slides on this little shaft, and here are the 2 bolts that go in there. They are a T25, and here's the actual sensor, the old one. You see the shaft there? Shows this is the new one. Tells the computer where the throttle is, where your gas pedal is. I'm gonna slide this new one on. It's like 35 bucks, I think it was. This is the lifetime warranty one. They had a cheaper one. Went with the better one. I don't think I'll regret that, but I'm gonna get that in there. Okay, I put my 3 bolts that hold the throttle body back in. I put my 2 bolts that I took off that hold the throttle cable, and I believe that's for the crew is the other cable, I think. Put them back in, and I gotta put this bracket back on here. I plugged in my new sensor. Once I put these little bolts on there and put the air cleaner back on, it should be done. Ready to clear the codes. Okay, everything's back in place. Button down. I'm going to go clear the codes in a second here. Tools for the job. 10mm 1/4" socket with an extension. You're going to need some inverted Torx to get that air cleaner bolt off. I believe that's inverted Torx. I'm not exactly sure what they call them. You need a T25 to get the TPS sensor off. Use a screwdriver here for the air cleaner, and use the deep. You're gonna need a deep socket. Okay, you got my scanner here. It's not a very fancy scanner. It was in its day when we got it, but it's not very fancy now. I'm just gonna plug it into the OBD2 port here. It's right there under the dash. And there's choosing what vehicle it is. Turn the key on. Press enter here, read the codes. There's the TPS sensor codes. Gonna erase them here. I'm gonna run it now, and this has got all kinds of lights flashing at me. And hopefully that fixed the problem I just had where I couldn't go over 15. Actually wouldn't rev over 2,000. But I'm gonna run it, find out, let you know. Okay, I'm gonna go for a test drive, and seems to be revving up. Revving up over 2,000. The rattling, I believe, is the catalytic converters rattling. I got a new one of those coming. I'm gonna go get my cell phone just in case this don't make it, and I'm gonna go for a test drive. Well, the throttle position sensor stopped the codes from coming up, but it still is having trouble going under load. It'll rev up just sitting and in neutral, but under load it's really having trouble. So probably gonna have to check the fuel pressure. I might run and get a fuel filter for it. See if that helps. I'm waiting on my catalytic converter. I think that might be a problem. So next video will probably be either the catalytic converter or fuel filter, or maybe a fuel pressure check. So stay tuned.